Well, folks, tonight I am starting a new campaign and I need your help. We are calling it Give It Back Nancy. Nancy needs to account. She made $35 million in the most unfair way possible by exploiting her position as Speaker of the House. I'm demanding she give the $35 million she and her husband made trading big tech stocks back. Give the money back. Give it to the U.S. Treasury or donate it.
When we had legislation to break up big tech moving through the Judiciary Committee with bipartisan momentum, oddly, you had her husband buying big tech stock. And everyone thought, well, that's kind of weird. And then, lo and behold, she never brings those bills up for a vote in the House of Representatives. And that is the corruption that drives people nuts.
That, of course, is Congressman Matt Gaetz talking about how Nancy Pelosi killed those bills that would have hurt big tech and their stocks. And she made millions in the process. So now, give it back, Nancy. Use it to pay for college for poor American kids, maybe. Maybe sports equipment for disadvantaged school districts, anything. But Nancy Pelosi, the queen hypocrite, should give it back, all $35 million. So what did we do? Well, we created a website, giveitbacknancy.com, all right? You can sign a petition, and I want all of you to do this, demanding that Nancy give it back. Giveitbacknancy.com. Go there now. Tell your friends about it. Spread it on social media. Let's get Stinchfield's army to rally around this. Again, giveitbacknancy.com. Go sign the petition, all right? We are also calling, by the way, for a total ban on congressional trading. All stock holdings for members of Congress and their immediate family needs to, at the very least, be put in a blind trust. All of this, by the way, comes today as we are learning, thanks to Peter Schweizer's new book, Red Handed, that Nancy Pelosi's family's business dealings in China influenced her policy decisions here at home. The book details how Pelosi started out her career tough on China. And then, as her family's business interests there expanded, well, go figure, she lightened up on China. Investigative journalist with the Government Accountability Institute, Seamus Brunner, helped break that story and the story of Nancy's congressional trading, as well as the ties to China. He is our guest. Seamus Brunner, welcome back to the program.
It's great to be with you, Grant. I think this giveitbacknancy.com is a great idea.
We're going to urge everyone to go there, sign the petition. Hey, will you be one of the first to do it, Seamus?
I've already signed it.
You're the best, brother. You're the best. All right, so what I want to ask you about is this story about Nancy Pelosi in China. I just laid out the deals that she made to make money off these big tech stocks, which you helped break that story. What's the deal with this deal in China and her husband working on business deals and then her going soft on China here at home?
Yeah, well, just like the Visa insider trading deal that Nancy did in 2008, she was against China before she was for it, just like the credit card companies. She was against the credit card companies until she had investments in it. So I'll lay out the timeline. In the 90s, early on in Nancy's congressional career, she was a China hawk. She was very vocal. She was against the most favored nation status for China. And then sometime around the mid to late 2000s, she starts to shift her stance. And right around that time, her husband, Paul Pelosi, is doing deals in China. For example, 2008, the Beijing Olympics. Before her husband had deals in China, she was pushing for a boycott. Then it turns out one of the companies that Paul Pelosi was invested in, it's called Global Ambassador Concierge, was shuttling around high net worth individuals. It's basically a limousine car service, shuttling around high net worth individuals. Where? In Beijing. That's one deal. Then 2010, Paul Pelosi invests in something called Matthews International Capital Management. It's one of the pioneer funds that started investing in China. It invests in the biggest Chinese companies like China Mobile and Weibo. Paul Pelosi takes large positions in that company. I believe they got up to $5 million. The Pelosi family got up to $5 million paid out from that just in 1 year alone. And you've now seen her stance shift. In fact, she's even explained why there was a shift in her stance. She says that because of climate change, we need to partner with China more. But it's enriching her bottom line. It's just like the insider trading deals. It's corrupt, and it needs to be investigated.
All right, so look, everything seems to surround her husband, Paul. And we're not saying that she did anything illegal here, but I think what a reasonable person would say is it's disgusting what's happening. It's elitist behavior. It's, we make money off the power of our position and where no one else can be able to do this. So what should happen here? Because they're talking, her husband and Nancy Pelosi.
Right, of course. I mean, the idea that she's not passing information about either legislation that's coming or that legislation she could bring to the floor or not bring to the floor, and the idea that Paul's not telling her what legislation would be detrimental to their personal finances, it's absurd. Of course they talk, they're husband and wife, and this is why they should not be able to own individual stocks. And I think that they should also divest from their Chinese investments. I mean, she talks tough every once in a while, but it's, big talk while taking in money from an authoritarian country that is probably the world's largest abuser of human rights.
Seamus, last question real quick. This is not just Nancy Pelosi. It's not just Democrats. It's Republicans, too. This kind of behavior is widespread in Washington, isn't it, if you can finish it up in about 20 seconds for me?
Yeah, it absolutely is. It's rampant, that's why you only see a couple dozen lawmakers, pushing for legislation to deal with the stock insider trading issue. Only a couple dozen of 535. It's absurd, and it really needs to change.
Yep, it sure does. Seamus Brunner, keep up the good work. Keep investigating these people, and we'll keep having you on, my man. Thank you so much, and give it back, Nancy.
Give it back, Nancy.
Absolutely. You know what? Let's throw the slate up one more time. I want to put that website up there. I want everyone to go to this website, giveitbacknancy.com, giveitbacknancy.com. There it is at the bottom of your screen. There's the website. We put it together. You can sign your name to that petition. I don't know. There couldn't be anything more important than this, than letting your voices be heard. Stinchfield's Army, let's roll. Let's roll straight over Nancy Pelosi, right? The vacancy created by liberal Supreme Court Judge Stephen